Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Meet the man behind the suits worn by Dak Prescott and other top athletes. Fashion and sports are closely intertwined. Professional athletes not only like to look good on the field, but off the field as well. That's where Tom Marchitelli comes in. The custom menswear designer was responsible for getting 17 All-Stars red carpet ready at this year's All-Star game in Arlington. "This is the biggest red carpet of my career," Marchitelli said. "It's like watching a movie and all of the actors are in my clothes, so to speak." Texas Rangers pitcher Kirby Yates was one of the All-Stars wearing the 42-year-old's custom designs. "If you're prepared, then you reduce the risk of mistakes. That is why I fly to personally measure all of these guys. All 17 of these guys have had me in front of them," Marchitelli said. "It doesn't get overwhelming, it's exciting. When you see Tom, you can't miss him." Marchitelli is in his Sunday best at all times, and that's intentional. "If I'm selling Mercedes, I can't pull up in a Honda Accord. I always want to showcase the best clothes, the best fit to get my guys' interest going." Tom lives in Hoboken, New Jersey, and has been in the suit game for a decade. "I'm lucky that I was able to turn it into a business. Now people can say anything to me, they used to heckle me about it," Marchitelli recalled. Before getting into the world of clothes, he worked as a hedge fund accountant. "I sat still at a desk for 8 years, not doing much besides crunching numbers and doing work to make the portfolio managers wealthy," he said. Tom's wife suggested that he pursue something he loved in his downtime. He started a Tumblr page critiquing what male athletes and actors wore on the red carpet. Eventually, that turned into a Twitter and Instagram account called Gentleman's Playbook. It's there that Marchitelli caught the attention of professional athletes. "I would post myself in suits that I had made by someone else. This was a clothier, a custom clothier in New York who does what I do now," he said. "I was paying a lot for these suits or going to these events with my wife, weddings, formal events and whatnot, and athletes became interested and that's really where it turned into a business unintentionally," he said. 2016 was the first year Tom was able to design full-time. It didn't take long for his business to start booming. "I would send out hundreds of DMs a day. I would DM everyone on every roster," he said. For Tom, there was one big-name quarterback in particular who he said changed his life and his business, Dak Prescott. The two met in a hotel lobby at the 2017 NFL Honors in Houston while Marchitelli was waiting for one of his clients. "He came over to me and he said, 'Hey man, I like that fit. Who made you that?' And I said, 'I'm very glad you asked, because I did,'" he recalled. "He dapped me up and said, 'Take my number, I'm ready to buy.'" Marchitelli says those words changed his life and business forever. For the last 7 years, every suit you've seen Dak wear has been designed by Marchitelli. He's also added Cowboys players Ezekiel Elliott and DeMarcus Lawrence to his client list, which now includes more than 450 professional athletes. "All it takes is one guy in one locker room to give me the shot and then I dress them. They walk into a game and a whole lot of people are asking, 'Hey, who made you that suit?' And then the snowball effect starts," Marchitelli said. "The best of the best does come at a price. Typically, Tom's suits run between $3,000 to $5,000. He designs about 1,000 suits a year and can have them made as quickly as in one day, and he has the athlete's measurements." Cowboys news: CeeDee Lamb's contract getting priority over Dak Prescott's. "Let's just make it easy and get both done. I'm not talking," Lamb said, via Calvin Watkins of the Dallas Morning News. Lamb, though, has not reported for work at the Star since the end of last season and is not expected to report to training camp in Oxnard, California, next week without an extension. He did not participate in any of the off-season program, including the mandatory minicamp. Because of Lamb's holdout plans, the Cowboys are prioritizing Lamb's contract over that of quarterback Dak Prescott, Watkins reports. Prescott is expected for the first practice Thursday. Cowboys executive vice president Stephen Jones told TheAthletic.com this week that big contracts for Lamb, Prescott and edge rusher Micah Parsons take time and admitted it's a challenge to keep everybody. Running back Ezekiel Elliott and right guard Zach Martin both held out into training camp in recent summers, and the Cowboys eventually gave both what they wanted before the season started. Will that work for Lamb? For free agents Dallas Cowboys should have on standby. The Dallas Cowboys finally report to training camp this week, July 24, in Oxnard, California. All of the guesstimating and speculation we've been forced to endure throughout the offseason will finally come to an end. One way or another, answers will be provided via the goings-on throughout training camp and preseason. While the hope is everything goes as planned in training camp/preseason, there's always those what-if situations that will linger in the back of everyone's minds until the dust finally settles. Because of those what-ifs, we decided to take another look at free agency to identify a few players the Cowboys may want to have on standby just in case. With Tyron Smith's exit via free agency to join the New York Jets this offseason, the Cowboys are now forced to figure out how to replace their longtime blindside protector. They drafted Tyler Guyton in the first round, 29th overall, but there are concerns he may not be ready to step in immediately as a rookie. And, unless the Cowboys are willing to move Tyler Smith back to LT, the other options on the roster leave much to be desired. While injuries have hit him pretty hard the last few seasons, David Bakhtiari might be somebody the Cowboys want to have on standby if they don't like what they see from the LT options they currently have on the roster in training camp/preseason. When healthy, he's still one of the better blindside protectors in the league, and if nothing else, could potentially fill in until Tyler Guyton is better acclimated to life in the NFL. The Cowboys are expecting last year's first-round pick, Mazi Smith, to make a significant Year 2 jump entering his sophomore season in the league, but even if he does, they can still use more depth at defensive tackle. Mike Zimmer prefers the bigger-bodied, space-eating DTs in the interior of defensive line, and right now the Cowboys don't have anyone currently on the roster who shows a lot of promise. The free agent options currently available on the open market are pretty slim pickings, but former Broncos DT Mike Purcell could be a solid addition in a rotational role as a depth piece. He spent the last 5 seasons with the Broncos and started 10 games for them last year. At 6 feet 3 inches, 338 pounds, he has the size Mike Zimmer likes at the position and could provide veteran experience like Jonathan Hankins did the last few years. If Trayvon Diggs can return to his former self after last year's season-ending knee injury with no lingering effects or setbacks, the Cowboys are in pretty good shape as far as their top 3 cornerbacks go. Considering how hard they've been hit with injuries at this position the past few years though, having more proven depth behind them on the depth chart might not be a bad direction to take. Stephon Gilmore may no longer be the player he once was, but his veteran savvy and starting experience probably saved the Cowboys' season last year after Trayvon Diggs' season-ending knee injury. Re-signing him would significantly upgrade Dallas' CB depth and provide an insurance policy just in case something were to go wrong. It would be better to have him on the roster and not need him than need him and not have him. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of David Bakhtiari? Leave your opinion in the comments.